Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chat from a Hat. I'm your host, Josh Brown, along with my co-host,
Caleb Luther.
Caleb. We got a very special guest today. Again, Nancy's going to join us here for the podcast.
Yeah.
Nancy, how are you?
Good.
This is like her third or fourth appearance.
Yeah, she's a frequent regular.
Regular.
Seems to be.
I know. Probably because she's here.
Yeah, because she lives here. So
Yeah.
and when there's stuff that we really don't have a lot to talk about, we're going to drag her on every single time.
Yeah.
Caleb, how are you?
I'm okay. A little tired. How are you doing?
A little tired.
Yeah.
You better wake up, buddy. We got a lot to talk about
A little
today.
tired. A little sicky, you know.
A little sick.
A little sick.
What's wrong with you? You just had that big peanut butter pie. You seem to be doing okay while you were scarfing that down.
Was a good peanut butter
It
pie.
was pretty good. I know.
It has refueled me.
Well, Caleb, so let's go ahead and get started because we have a lot to talk about today. You are doing a candy tournament now.
Yeah, I am.
You're doing a candy tournament. So
Let's be specific here. A candy bar tournament.
a candy bar tournament.
Not just candy. Just
Yeah.
candy bar.
Okay.
Which I haven't done one in 3 years. Last time I did it, Twix won the tournament.
Is Twix in this time?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I have no clue how Twix won that tournament. I didn't know that was like a favorite. Like, what is that? Twix?
It's 2 for me, none for you, I guess.
I love.
Remember those commercials?
Listen, I love a Twix now. It's a good little cookie bar. Apparently, there's a difference between each bar. People say that. and
Is there?
I don't get it. Like, I like the left bar. I'm like, well, is this like a joke? Is this an inside joke?
Apparently it is.
Because
I don't understand
I
it
can't tell the difference. Yeah.
Caleb, what's your favorite candy bar, bub? What's your
I'd say overall,
What's your favorite candy bar?
nostalgia's gonna tell me the zero bar. But if I'm
course it is.
if I'm just being true to
Of course it
myself,
is.
it's a Snicker. It's a Snickers always. The Snickers is just there's so much to it. There's just so much in it. It's and it always delivers. I love it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite candy bar?
You know what my favorite candy bar.
I don't know your favorite candy bar. Actually,
Wait, now does it have to be a candy bar or just favorite candy?
a candy bar.
Oh God!
The tournament is candy bar tournament.
I'm sorry.
So it can't be a
Sorry.
Reese cup.
Well, too bad. It's a
cup.
Reese cup. It's a
Cup.
Reese cup.
You can drink out of it. It's a cup.
You cannot drink out of a Reese cup.
What's the candy bar though?
Oh,
I don't.
God,
I'm starting to think you don't like candy bars.
No, I like candy. I just like candy. What are you talking
Unless it
about?
has the word Reese's in it.
Now that is true. I do.
What's your favorite
I will
candy
eat
bar?
anything Reese's. Okay, if it's not Reese's, okay, does the Chunky bar count?
Yeah, I had that in tournament. It got beaten.
Yeah, I know it got beat. It got slapped.
It had a
I'm-
tough
I'm mad
matchup.
about it.
You had a
I'm mad
tough-
about it because let me tell you something. I'm going to fall on the sword here for the Chunky bar. Chunky bar's got everything you could possibly want. It's got the sweetness of raisins. It's got the sweetness of chocolate, and it's got nuts in it. What more do you want?
I gotta be honest. I don't know if I've ever had a Chunky bar.
I'm gonna get you
but
one.
it looked good.
I'm going to get you one because you will like it.
What's your favorite
like
candy bar, Nancy?
Mine is a Hershey's with almonds. And I also would like to say we've been together like over 4 years, and I've never seen you eat a Chunky bar once.
Because I usually get them and take them to work.
Josh is.
I usually
there
get
it
yeah.
is.
Now Josh
Yeah.
is being a hipster when it comes to the Chunky bar. He's gonna be the one guy like, no, it's the Chunky bar. Guy.
No, it's the Chunky bar.
Now, is
Listen, Chunky bar.
Is Chunky bar? Is that Nestle?
I think so.
Maybe.
It's in the silver wrapper, and it's just.
I know. Yeah.
Well, what's
You
cool
look
about
good.
okay? Here's the thing about Chunky Bar though. I'm just going to throw this out really fast. Is that it comes in a cube, right? And you break off the little sections. You
Yeah.
know. Come on, if you don't want to eat the whole thing, you can just break 2 pieces off and be done. And save the rest for later. Can you do that with a candy bar? No, you can't.
You can take a big bite out of it and put it back.
But that's disgusting, though. That's disgusting. Taking a bite off of it and then saving the rest of it—that's nasty. That's nasty.
Why? Why is that disgusting?
It's just nasty.
It's your own. It's your own
doesn't
gums.
matter.
It's
It's your own bacteria
Doesn't
from your
matter.
mouth.
It doesn't matter. It's just
Okay. So Hershey's with almonds. Now Hershey's with almonds are good. Now, to some extent, I might like that more than the classic Hershey's bar.
No, let's not go that far.
I will go that
Nancy,
far.
Nancy will go
I
that
think
far.
I'm not
She
far.
said it was her favorite.
Okay, if we're talking about Hershey's, though, cookies and cream is the worst. The worst.
I like them.
They're disgusting. They are disgusting.
I just don't think.
Disgusting.
I don't think you eat enough candy bars. This is coming from someone that eats a candy bar once every 8 months. I don't eat that many. Now I reached my candy bar quota a couple weekends ago.
You did.
Went to a show in Charleston. And,
What did you eat? You had a.
I got a zero bar.
zero bar, and then
First
on
off,
top
here's
of
what I did.
that-
Here's what I did. Take in mind, these were both king size bars. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and I was very hungry. I needed to refuel myself, so I got a king size zero bar and a king size Fifth Avenue, which I also love. So those are two of my favorites. I still think Snickers is the king, though. You know, that Snickers bar. There's just something about it. Do you not like Snickers?
No, I like Snickers.
Okay.
I just don't grab them
getting
very
some
often.
Anti-Snickers vibes
No.
here.
For me, a lot of the times, a candy bar depends. Excuse me. Sorry, listeners, I just deafened you. Caramel can I'm very hit and miss with caramel because caramel can hurt my teeth. Or it really just depends on what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
A lot of times, if I eat a candy bar, I'm usually driving. So if it's something that I can bite into, and then if I pull it away, it's gonna have like a bunch of stuff go all over me. Probably not gonna eat that.
Okay.
But yeah, I do like Snickers though. I do like Snickers a lot, actually.
Nancy, what do you think about Snickers?
I do like Snickers too. I'm the same way with caramel though. Sometimes it's a texture thing because I'm a texture eater. So
Yeah. What about peanut butter Snickers?
I've not had a peanut butter Snickers.
You know, there was a time whenever those were the hot thing. You know, this is now a Snickers podcast.
It's just
I did
Specific
like
Snickers podcast.
the almond Snickers that they came out with for a hot minute that
they
had
have-
almonds in it instead
They had
of
peanuts in them. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot inside of the Snickers.
You remember when they were making the Snickers that were like cubes?
They still
it was-
do. Those
do they
just
still do that?
those
Just
like
to
little
make-
fun size
Okay.
ones. Yeah,
No,
those
no, not fun ones. These were like full blown king size bars, but they split them up
Okay,
into
yeah.
little squares.
They do that
because
to
they
a
had
lot
the
of-
different. They had the different butters in them.
Okay.
They had like almond butter and then peanut butter. And
Oh,
then-
really? Okay.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Those were pretty good. I remember
I'd say
having
it
the
was.
almond one, and I thought it was pretty good. And then they had the one that was in a blue wrapper. I don't remember what it was, but I wasn't a big fan of that one. But
Moving on.
we were going to segue into something cool.
No,
but
I
then you were
wanted
just
it.
like, moving on,
I wanted it to be funny. No,
Anyway.
I mean, I always love. I don't eat a lot of candy bars anymore, but it's a good pastime for me. And I
It's a
always
good
like.
pastime.
I like to be a little nostalgic with the old Fifth Avenue and the old Zero Bar.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't love them, but I do.
Hey, I like a zero bar.
I love a Zero Bar.
Zero bar is better than a cookies and cream bar.
I've been on like the search to find a like a Zero Bar like sweatshirt. So I just want a sweatshirt that has like the Zero Bar logo on it. I just think that'd be so cool.
That'd be funny.
Be very fun.
It's got to be silver too. It's got to be the silver package.
Somebody make one for me. I'm not gonna pay you, but make it for me. Just make it for me, for the podcast. You know,
Just so you can wear it in promo pictures for the podcast.
I wear it every day.
You probably would. That's the thing.
Okay.
All right. So moving on, Caleb. It's a big week for music again.
It's probably always a big week. I just don't pay attention. But I have been now.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
for sure. First off, we'll segue into I don't know. You probably haven't heard it a lot, but me and Nancy have probably listened to it more than you have. Jason Isbell's got a new song out.
No, I haven't heard it at all.
Okay, Nancy, have you got to listen to the new Jason Isbell song yet?
I got to listen to it once so far.
Okay, so
That's enough to form a complete opinion on it.
Yep.
Well, I did listen to it once, and then I've heard you play it every single morning when you've been getting ready for work. too,
Yes.
since
Uh-oh.
it came out.
Yes, so-
So it sucks. Is what
That's pretty good. A lot of people seem to be liking it more than the first single off of his new record, which is called Weather Vanes. When is that album coming out? June? Something like that. Anyway, for the life of me, I can't even remember what the name of the song is called. What is it called right off the top of your head? It doesn't matter. Anyway,
Off the top of my head, it is called Middle of the Morning.
that's what it's called.
That was
Yep.
a heck of a guess,
Yeah.
Nancy.
Yeah, heck of a guess after you look down at your phone on Spotify. Feels like people are calling it very classic Jason Isbell. I'm a little late to the Jason Isbell party, but I did like the song a lot.
Yeah.
Very vocally, very, very good. You can tell there's a lot of pain in that voice during that song, which is cool.
A lot of pain.
A lot of pain.
He's going through kidney
He's
stones
going
when
through-
he's recording it.
You know a little bit about
That's
that.
another.
That's a topic for another day.
Another day.
Yeah, but it's really good. I would suggest if no one is on the Jason Isbell train, they should hop on it. It's pretty good. Leaving the station, but we won't leave without you. Caleb?
That,
Yeah.
that must be a reference to something that I don't
It's not.
understand.
It's not. It's
Is it not?
No.
Okay, I
That's
thought
why-
maybe that
just
was
made
like
that up.
a lyric or
I just made that
something.
up. No, I just made that up.
I don't think you did.
I didn't.
I don't think you did.
I didn't, but I don't know what it.
Back to Snickers.
So Metallica has a new song, Caleb.
Yeah.
It's called 72 Seasons. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
You know, I'm just not. I'm not the Metallica guy necessarily, so probably not the right person to ask. It seems like it checked all the Metallica boxes, though. I mean, it does go a million miles per hour at the beginning. I'm always been more a fan of like the slower ones that sort of like build up to some sort of intensity. Like I really like The Day That Never Comes. I really like that album actually. Death Magnetic. It's compressed terribly. Like
It's
the mix is awful, but I like that song a lot. So just when it comes to Metallica, I'm always going to choose like the calmer songs. So this new one isn't that. So I don't know. It sounds like Metallica.
You're wrong.
It sounds like they're doing Metallica well. They're doing the Metallica thing good. So what about you?
I think the song gets really, really good about 4 minutes in.
Oh yeah, it's about 8 minutes long.
When it goes from I guess the bridge and the solo parts, and that's where it starts to really feel like a different song to me.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. After hearing the 4 songs that they've released so far off the record, I still think the first song is the best one they've got.
I don't even remember it, or if I listened to it.
Yeah, well,
I might have.
Lux is the best track so far that they've released. I mean,
And that was released forever ago.
yeah, that was the very first song.
Yeah.
To me, it just feels kind of recycled material. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that, but it does. It feels like recycled material or stuff that was left over from Hardwired. And I'm just kind of like, okay, it's Metallica.
See, this is why I'm the wrong person to ask.
Yeah.
Because I feel that way about all Metallica.
That's fine. I mean,
It just all kind of like sounds like the same. The guitar things kind of all sound the same, and melodies all kind of.
drums are still too loud.
I'm just not the exact.
Drums are still
listen,
too
I've
loud.
hated the Metallica drum sound for
Yeah.
definitely over 20 years now. So
Do you have an opinion?
Nancy,
I have not listened to it.
Okay.
you heard it here, folks.
Heard it
You heard it
here
here
first.
first, folks. Doesn't have an opinion. What does
Wow.
it? What does it mean?
What does it mean, Basil?
What does it all mean?
What does it all mean? What? No.
Molly Cyrus?
Okay, sorry. So, Caleb, City and Color released a new album today. Have you got to listen to it? No.
No, I've never
Okay.
heard. I've never heard a
Well,
City
Nancy
and Color
and I-
album ever.
Really?
I don't think so.
I think
Maybe
you-
back in high school.
I think you like City and Color. I really do.
Maybe.
I think you would.
Maybe.
I think you'd like this new record a lot, actually.
Who
it's
knows?
It's very shoegazy.
I'll never. That's not true. It's just not. It's not that. I know it's not that. Because I know what City and Color sounds like, and they don't sound like shoegaze.
I don't think you do, because you just said you didn't hear. You haven't.
No, I've heard
any album.
No, I've heard City and Color songs. I've never listened to an album though. I don't think.
3 songs already released from the album before it came out. 4, right? Was it 3 or 4?
3.
3.
But now all of them are.
But now all of them are out. I think it's a pretty solid record. There's some really good guitar solos on this record, actually. You know where you were talking, how we were talking about last week with Fall Out Boy, how those 3 singles are on the first 3 songs of the
First 3
record.
songs.
Guess what? This album does the same thing.
A lot of albums do.
A lot of albums are doing it now. And I don't understand that.
You got to get so like. That doesn't, because City and Color isn't like the biggest artist. Like Dallas Green's not like massive, right? So
right.
usually you see that in bigger artists where they're doing that for mainstream fans,
Yeah.
so that they can pull them in immediately with singles.
That's
But
the
with
thing.
him, it's weird. Yeah.
The thing of it is too is like back in. You remember when singles used to be the best songs on the record would try to be the singles when people were trying to sell singles.
It hasn't been that way in a while.
hasn't been that way in a
though.
long time. I
I'd say
agree.
30
Agree.
plus years now.
Now it just feels like, okay, we're going to put the best song on the best song on the record. The best song on the record is not the first song on the record. But it feels like anymore that the first single, like you said, is always the first song on the album.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus just did the same thing. Her first single was the first song on the record,
It's kind
right?
of a bummer.
Flowers is
It's
first-
it's always kind of a bummer because I like to jump into a new album and being like surprised by what that first
I
song
agree.
is, and not a
I
song that I've been
agree.
hearing 100 times
Yep.
since
Yep.
for like months now.
And I can't think of the last Ghost released Call Me a Little Sunshine, and that's right in the middle of the record. That's the last band that I can remember that did that. What
Taylor
about you?
Swift with Midnights.
Well, Taylor didn't release anything from Midnight, so
I mean, I know, but I'm just saying.
I know.
She's like one of the rare artists that comes like, I'm just dropping
Yeah, I'm
an
just
album.
dropping an album,
Her,
bye.
her and Kendrick Lamar
when was the
just
last
like,
time
I'm
she
just gonna
had a
drop this.
single that she dropped before the record came out? Because she shadow dropped Folklore, right?
Yeah,
She shadow dropped Evermore.
yeah.
Shadow dropped Red and Fearless.
No, she didn't shadow drop Red and Fearless. She
but
did.
but she didn't All Too Well, maybe?
She did some singles from Fearless Taylor's version and Red
Okay,
Taylor's version
so
before they came out. But there was some of the
New
vault
music then.
the vault songs. Some of them
Okay.
came out before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Some artists can just drop like Kendrick Lamar. His past few albums, like the main single, or the single like leading up to the album release, isn't on the album. It's just not.
yeah.
Like I mean,
yeah.
because he can do that, but then like later on, they'll after the album's been up on Spotify for like 3 or 4
It's
weeks.
the deluxe edition.
No, it'll just show up as the last song on the album. That's
Yeah.
what he did on this. I was like, oh, like, that's cool, I guess.
I
Like,
guess, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to what we were talking about, City and Colors record is pretty good. I only got to listen through to it twice. I think the last 3 songs on the record are 3 of the best.
That's how
And
Fall Out Boy's album
it's
is.
literally like we're bookending with some of the best songs.
I don't mind that.
I don't either.
I like that. I just wish albums would start off not necessarily stronger. I just want to be more surprised by the beginning of it. You know.
That's the thing. Like when we listened to Miley's record on the way to Louisville, and we skipped Flowers right at the very beginning, did we not? Because
I know how this sounds.
heard it. You heard it.
You heard it, yeah, a billion times.
What'd you think? City and Colors record.
I liked it a lot because it reminded me more of a lot of his earlier stuff. Because I know during COVID, a lot of things happened with him personally and stuff. So his albums that came out and his music that came out then kind of reflected that more.
Mm-hmm.
But now this is more of like his usual normal thing. But it still has some of that in it too, of the reflection. Because he's always been somebody that does a lot of self-reflection and things like that. But I like
On a scale of 1 to shoegaze, how shoegazy is it?
Very.
I mean, it is a little bit, but
3?
not really. I feel like Josh just thinks anything that's indie equates to shoegaze.
Anything that
No,
anything
anytime I want Caleb to listen to something, I just tell him it's shoegaze.
anything that uses a guitar effect pedal is shoegaze.
Yes.
Anything that sounds spacey. Also, Boy Genius brought out a new record today. Guess who hasn't listened to that one?
It's called The Record.
It's called The Record. Guess who hasn't listened to The Record? That would be me. So you all enjoy.
So Boy Genius is like a super group. It has Phoebe Bridgers, Lucy Dacus, and Julian Baker. These are all artists that are well
I know who they
established in
are.
the indie, sort of like indie folk, indie pop. And The Record is their debut album as Boy Genius. And I only listened to it once today. And I hate to keep doing this, but I'm a bad judge of character on this because I've only heard the album once. And through one listen, I can say that, well, the album as a whole didn't pull me in. There were a few songs that got a little more guitar heavy that I liked a lot. But here's why I can't just like write that off. Because my favorite album of the year is this Pile album. I'm wearing a Pile hoodie, and the album's called All Fiction. And the first day that I listened to it, I was like, there's no hooks pulling me in. Come a month later, I'm like, this is my favorite album of the last few years. And the Boy Genius album may very well be that as well.
Could happen.
I think that there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of lyrical things going on that's hard to grasp the first time through. Because like there's not that many hooks. It doesn't repeat itself that much. In like a 3.5-minute song, there's not a lot of words that repeat. So I'm like, well, I got to listen to this several times to latch on to something. But I come at me another day, maybe a week or two from now, and I'll be able to give you like a definite score. But unlike the Fall Out Boy album, which was like very easy to judge on first listen or second listen, this isn't like that. It's a little bit denser. So, what about you, Nancy? How many times did you listen to it?
I also only listened to it once today, but I have listened to the singles and stuff that have come out before it a lot. I think that True Blue was my favorite one that came out before the album, and it
Was $20 Bill? Is that what that song's called?
Yeah.
The first song. See, I heard that song.
Yeah,
once,
that was one of the ones that came out.
But that's the first song on the album also, and that song did draw me in. Like I was like, ooh, this is kind of, I like the guitar sound on this, and it's kind of like bigger, and I'm not going to call it heavy, but it's one of the heavier songs on the album.
I think it's the second song on there. So they did do the first song. I don't think was a single.
Yeah, the first song is just a cappella.
Yeah.
The first song's just them
That's cool.
doing 3-piece harmony, no music, just them singing.
It's just like
I forgot
an
about that.
introduction. Yeah.
That's cool.
It was cool, yeah.
cool.
It was a decent introduction, yeah. So
But then the first 3 songs after that were the 3 singles that came out
okay.
before. And that's still one of my favorite ones is True Blue. But I just really like female supergroups whenever they do that because I was really into the High Women whenever they did their thing. And so I really like this because I like all 3 of them individually. And so I like what
I
they're
don't
doing
know,
together.
like I know Phoebe Bridgers the most. I don't know Lucy's music at all, really. And Julian Baker, I've known some of her stuff, but I think after listening to their stuff, you can definitely tell which songs are Phoebe Bridgers songs because they sound like Phoebe Bridgers songs. Like there's one song that just sounds like a lighter version of Kyoto, which I'm like, I'm not mad. I love Kyoto. But I think Julian Baker's songs were like the ones that were centered around her. I like the most. I don't know yet though. I gotta listen to it more. It's got a 91 on Metacritic. That I don't know if that means anything, but I mean 91's 91. That's high. That's high praise, Josh. It's high.
I know it's high praise.
That's almost as good as a Snickers bar. I'm keeping it going.
Well, speaking of keeping it going, Caleb, last week we talked about MySpace.
Yeah.
And that was
And I'm still talking
that was a
about
fun
it.
episode, man.
I'm still talking about MySpace. It needs more listen. That was a good episode. I really enjoyed talking about that, and I think the people that listen to it, because I've actually had some feedback, and people tell me how much they enjoyed listening to and rediscovering old memories of MySpace. Why are you zooming into the microphone?
You know what he's
We need
gonna
a
do.
camera. I don't know what you're gonna do.
Rar.
Ah, the RAR, the emo name RAR, Caleb RAR Luther.
Oh my god. I mean, your middle initial technically is R.
It is R, yeah.
Caleb
So
Rar.
Ryan.
Rar.
It's almost like Ryan.
But that was fun. If you haven't listened to that episode, go check it out. And check all of the past episodes of Chat from a Hat out, especially when I beat Caleb at movie trivia. But we won't talk about that.
Listen to it. Go back and listen to it.
Thank you very much for joining us from Chat from a Hat. We'll talk to you next week.
What was that?
I was just wrapping it up, man, because our topic this week's gonna suck for me.
Oh, I disagree. This topic's gonna be good.
All right,
It's gonna be a good one, and it fits in with the music. We've been talking about music all beginning of this episode, except for the candy bars, which is some people, it's kind of like music. It's music to the mouth.
Yes.
It really is.
You want to talk about my train analogy, and you want to say that candy is the music of the mouth?
said
What
what
is
I
it?
said.
Pop rocks?
New album title, music of the mouth.
It's literally you just going.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
We are
today?
talking about movie musicals today, Caleb.
Movie
And
musicals.
Let me tell you what.
What is your definition of a musical, Josh?
What is my definition of a musical? My definition of a musical is a movie that has a lot of music in it and or musical performances in it. That's what I deem a musical.
Wrong. It's when they break out in the song. Everybody knows that. Anything else is not musical.
There's instruments.
They got it.
There's singing.
They've got to exist in a world that doesn't exist, and then they break out in the song.
So West Side Story.
Yes.
Grease.
Yes. See, you're giving too many away now. You're giving too many away now.
What have I done?
I'm not even like a West Side Story fan necessarily.
You're gonna
but-
run out of your list.
You actually watched West Side
I
Story.
watched the
right?
new one.
Yeah.
I've never seen
What'd
the
you think
original.
about it?
I don't like it.
You didn't like it?
I
or
didn't
you
like
did?
it.
Oh,
it
well.
has great reviews and Steven Spielberg, but I don't think that I like the West Side Story. I don't buy it.
You're wrong.
I just don't. I don't
wrong.
buy it. It's the kind of musical that just doesn't work for me.
Any
Doesn't
movie
work.
that has people walking across railroad tracks and snapping their fingers, I'm hooked.
Maybe if it was a comedy, would have loved it.
Oh my god!
No, I just didn't buy the romance, and you gotta buy the romance.
I have not watched West Side Story. or heard of
Igor
West Side
Elbert, what's his
Story,
name? Igor Elbert. What's his name? Baby
know.
Driver kid.
Oh,
Him and
Ansel
the
him.
Elgort.
yeah.
Him.
So the chemistry between him and the lead actress just is not there, and it's got to be there for that movie to work, and it's just not. That movie's long. It is 2.5 hours long. I was dying.
You know what other?
I feel like I was watching Elvis.
You know what other? I was going to say. You know what other movie musical that sucks is?
It's not a musical though.
it-
It's so close though. Maybe it should have been. It
I
should
think-
have because that
I
movie
feel it was.
that movie's so ridiculous and fantastical that it probably would have benefited from Elvis just like walking down the street and just breaking out in the song instead of just doing like live performances. It probably would have benefited. It would have had like a little bit of a Rocket Man kind of thing.
Yeah.
But instead, it decided to not exist in a real world while still maintaining its realistic ability of him just performing the songs live. Musicals, movie musicals is
Movie
what we're talking
musicals.
about. We've
Okay.
already started talking about them by accident. It happens.
What are you starting with?
I think we should start with Disney.
I
Because
have no Disney.
Because
on my
here's
list,
why.
so-
Because it's the first thing on my notes,
okay, okay.
and that's what I'm going by.
But you have no Disney.
Because I'm not a big Disney classics fan. We've established this on the podcast.
Shaking my head so hard right now.
We've
See,
established
the
this on the
bulk
podcast.
of my list is in this category. I think.
Well,
That is true though, because you didn't even watch Lilo and Stitch until this year.
Is Lilo and Stitch a musical?
No,
No, I didn't
but
think
it is
so.
related.
I've never seen Lilo and Stitch.
The only movie musical that I technically have that is a Disney property, The Muppets.
Let's talk about it. Because it's on my...
The Muppets.
Actually, you know what? Let's just jump right into the Muppets then. Because I have 3 Muppet movies on here.
My God, man!
Every Muppet movie is a musical. Every single one
It
of them.
technically is.
True.
Technically
Every single
is.
one of them. So...
It's time to play the music.
So I've retroactively included the Muppet movie on here. I don't think it was a...
Now the one from the 70s.
I don't think
right?
it... Yeah, the very first
Okay.
one. I don't think it was originally...
Do you have any Muppet movies?
I did not because I knew you all would have Muppets.
Okay.
So I don't think
Okay.
the Muppet movie was originally a Disney movie, but the Muppets is now Disney, so I'm counting it. So
Yes.
the Muppet movie, one of my favorite movies of all time. Love it.
It's very good.
It has obviously the Rainbow Connection. Everybody knows that
Why
song.
are there so
It's-
many songs about
But
Rainbow?
it is actually not my favorite song from that movie. My favorite song is a song sung by Gonzo, placed in like the end of the second act,
Yep.
called "I'm Going to Go Back There Someday." It doesn't even make sense why they're having a campfire sing, and Gonzo's just like, "I'm going to sing the most depressing song ever made," and it's just that song just moves me every time. And obviously, "Moving Right Along," the travel song with him
Moving
and
right along.
Fozzie. You know, it's just a good travel movie, and they bust out into songs. I think every song is a classic to some extent. Love it. And
I agree.
moving right along to the next one, probably my second favorite Muppet movie. Some days in December, it's my favorite Muppet movie though, and that is Muppet Christmas Carol. This is a soundtrack I listen to every year, and Michael Caine, you know, might not be the greatest singer, but he kills it as Scrooge though. He's just gonna go in there and sing his little heart out in that booth, you know. Love this one. One More Sleep Till Christmas, sung by Kermit himself, is sort of like a meme online whenever you see
Yep.
Kermit staring up at the moon and it says like screaming internally or
Yep.
whatever. That's a great.
I wait every year to post that meme.
That's a great one. It feels like Christmas, sung by the Ghost of Christmas Present, that's the first and only time we've ever seen him in a Muppet movie because he's the Ghost of Christmas Present. He exists solely for that, and that's
that.
a great song. But a song that maybe more people will get to know now that they have a remastered version of the movie from the original version that never made it theatrically. When Love Is Gone, they cut it for several years. They brought it back. No Muppet singing the song. It's
Yep.
Michael Caine and some actual singer.
Yeah.
Some woman that I don't know. But thematically it fits in with the movie very well, especially at the end whenever they sing When Love Is Found.
Yeah.
That it makes sense for a long time because that song was missing.
Yeah.
So I love that one, and obviously The Muppets. 2011's The Muppets.
A movie that we
So
fondly have memories of.
yes, so The Muppets. Me and Josh used to know all the words to the soundtrack.
We probably still do.
We sang it a lot. Life's a Happy Song, obviously a great opening song.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are turned off by The Muppets because right off the bat, it's characters that aren't our textbook Muppet characters.
Right,
It's Jason
right.
Segel and Walter.
It felt like
who's a human Muppet.
It literally
kinda.
felt like a reboot of the Muppets.
But whenever it gets going, you know, it sort of it's a sort of a slow burn to the Muppet reveal, and it's great. And
Maniacal laugh.
listen,
Maniacal laugh.
I love The Muppets. Pictures in My Head is a great
Yep.
emotional song, and
Manor Muppets.
and Manor Muppet is an Oscar winner, won Best Song that year. So those are my 3 favorites. But I think every song in the movie, especially the rap by Chris Cooper, the
my
rap,
God, I
the
forgot
rap
about
that
it.
the rap that has the subtitles at the bottom of it. So
Oh my
so
God.
I love The
I
Muppets.
love that movie.
I mean, I like all like I said, all of them are musicals, but these are the 3 that I've always liked the
See,
most.
and you all thought that we
Have you
didn't
seen-
have any idea.
Have you seen Muppets Most Wanted? The last
No,
one?
I haven't. I haven't watched Muppets Most Wanted.
I'm not even gonna lie. I think I might like the songs in that one more, but the Muppets is just so nostalgic and it's
Yeah.
just so great. So.
Yeah. What do you think about the Muppets? Have you seen a lot of Muppets movies?
I do have to say that for the Muppet Christmas Carol, it's one of my favorite versions of
It's
Christmas
the-
Carol.
It's the best. It's
version.
my favorite.
It's the
definitely.
best.
Yeah, I love
We
that
could do a
version.
whole
There
episode
are so
dedicated
many.
to that.
It's great. It's
There are
great.
so many different
Yeah.
versions, and that is one of my favorites.
All right.
Caleb or Nancy, what Disney one do you have?
One of my favorites, obviously, as you know, is Beauty and the Beast.
Yep, I have that.
Tale as old as time.
I have that.
And a lot of
I
people
have
didn't.
never seen it.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
A lot of people didn't like the live action one either, but I really like it, and I like the
It's okay.
songs from it too.
Hey, Evermore is a good song. That's like the one new song. Is that like how many new songs did they include in
I think
the?
that there's a couple of new songs.
Yeah,
in
Evermore
that
was the
one.
one I remember.
They put Taylor Swift in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, but
Yes.
Evermore, which is sung by the Beast, I don't know. It just really kind of captured the spirit of the original for me, and I did like that song quite a bit. But the original just has like
Yeah.
banger after banger. Like I mean, like the opening song doesn't get enough credit. Belle, the Bonjour, Bonjour.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I hate that version, the new one, because I just don't like her as Belle. But this original one, incredible, and the Beauty and the Beast theme song, and Be Our Guest, Gaston.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. I've heard these songs, but I haven't
I'd
seen
hope
these
so.
movies. You know what I mean?
So you've never seen the original Beauty and the
Nope.
Beast?
See, the problem
Fancy.
is that whenever he had COVID last year and I was quarantining away from him in our office, that was when I rewatched them
yeah.
while I was by myself.
And it's my favorite Disney classic. I mean, it's my favorite Disney animated movie. Like that's non-Pixar. There's a reason why I got nominated for Best Picture. I mean, there's just a reason, because it is flawless.
Okay.
What's
I
ne-
believe y'all.
What's
We're gonna have
next
to
on the?
watch it.
What's next on y'all's Disney list? Because I don't think I have any Disney movies at all.
I got some bangers here. I got the expected ones. I guess we can transition into the. It wasn't the next Disney movie, but it's maybe even bigger than Beauty and the Beast, and it came out a few years later. That's The Lion King. The Lion King's a musical. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here
Well,
first. It's a musical,
See,
guys.
this is the problem. This is we didn't have a definition of musical. So The Lion King. Let's go ahead and talk about The Lion King. then.
Why would it? The Lion King is obviously a musical.
Oh no!
They break out into song.
No.
The
way you talked about it.
the only non-musical song is "Circle of Life."
You know what? I mean,
And
that's a musical number. It might as well be.
no, but, yeah, it's just a song that plays though. Nobody's singing it in the movie. It just plays over the
Doesn't
opening.
matter. Plays over the loudspeakers. At
I mean, it's great. It's great.
It plays over the loudspeakers while they hold Simba up over everyone
Exactly.
else.
It's a visual.
Simba.
It's a visual. It's almost like a music video. Whereas the other songs, the characters do bust out in the song.
That's true.
I
Okay.
just can't wait to be king. Be prepared. Actually, they don't sing "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" either, do they?
I don't think so.
Doesn't Timon sing it?
At the very end, they come in and sing. Him and Pumbaa sing a little verse and start crying. But other than that, it's just like a. It's
So
just,
they sing it.
They sing it at the very end.
It doesn't matter. They sing
No, listen. This is still a musical, okay? It's a musical, no doubt.
Okay, fine.
It is.
It's great.
It is.
It's a great, fantastic film. I just don't know if I'd classify it as a musical.
It's a musical. Oh, wait a minute. It's a musical. It's just not as much of a musical as.
I'm just being a jerk now.
It's just not as much of a musical as Beauty and the Beast.
Because
you know what? You know why I love these Disney musicals? Because they're just not like overdone with with songs.
Now, see, that's how I look at a musical. To me, a
I
lot of people
can get fatigued very easily.
Exactly. A lot of people would classify a musical as 30 seconds of dialogue song, 30 seconds of dialogue song, 30 seconds of dialogue song.
That's not how
I don't-
Disney does it.
That's what I'm saying, though.
They're a little more
So-
sophisticated than
I
that.
feel like that's more of the Broadway definition of a musical
Right.
versus a movie.
So
A
that's-
movie musical works a little bit differently because they know that the average audience is not going to watch an entire.
So like something
thing.
like In the Heights is more like what you're talking about, where I don't remember a line of dialogue. I know there was,
Yeah.
but I don't remember much dialogue.
I don't remember much
I was
dialogue,
I was kind of worn out by the end of that.
But In the Heights is a really good.
It is really good, very impressive.
It almost made my list. But
There's
it didn't.
that like when the sun goes down song
Mm-hmm.
or whatever that like that like visually moved me. I was like, oh my god, like it just came out of nowhere. I was like, I feel like I'm about to cry. But Lion King is definitely a musical. Okay.
Okay.
We got that settled.
Okay.
What-
We got that settled. We're gonna fight about it.
I do have to say this. I despise the Lion King remake.
We're gonna fist fight about
The
it.
Lion
here
King
in a minute,
remake.
bub?
The Lion King remake is also kind of a musical. It's way less of a musical than the original, but it sucks. It sucks because it's not live action. It's animated. It's still an animated movie. You
No, it's
know?
not. It's live action.
No, it's animated.
It's live action.
It's
They trained
animated,
those
and the
lions.
characters
They trained those
the characters
lions,
just look
that's
like. I'm starting to, I hate to be the one to say it. I'm starting to get similar vibes in The Little Mermaid. Whenever I'm seeing the very cartoonish characters that look like just Flounder just looks like a fish now. I'm like, well, it's like, where's the charm in this? Maybe I'm judging a book by its cover, but I'm getting similar vibes. There's a reason why these things needed to be animated. Moving on.
Or here's an idea. Don't remake something that doesn't need remade.
Yeah, some things need like I thought Pete's Dragon needed to be remade, and even The Jungle Book to some extent was really good as a remake.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of these things do not need to be remade. I had fun with Aladdin. It didn't need to be remade though. It's not nearly as good.
No.
What's next on your list, Nancy?
Which is also classified as a movie musical, according to Wikipedia.
I know it's on my list.
Aladdin?
Yeah, it's a musical.
The new Aladdin.
No, I don't have it on here because it's not very good.
No, I'm just saying.
It's a musical.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost like
The new Aladdin
it's
was a
almost
musical.
like it's literally almost a shot-for-shot remake of the original. You know. So, what's next on your Disney list?
So I have
Enchanted.
no. I have well, I do have Enchanted on here, but
Oh.
the next one that I have on here that I'm gonna do is Cinderella, but a very specific version
Uh-oh.
of Cinderella, which is the one from 1997 with Brandy and Whitney Houston.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I knew where she was going with
I
that.
don't remember that
I
at all.
watched,
remember
I
that
watched
at all.
that one as a child so many times because I did not own a lot of movies and stuff whenever I was younger, so I watched a lot of them that came on TV. And this one came on ABC Family, like, it felt like once a week at
It
least.
was religious.
Was this
Yeah.
a straight-to-TV movie?
I don't know. I would have to look that up.
Like
But
maybe like straight to like ABC, maybe? And then-
maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe.
I
don't
feel
know,
like
I
if
don't
it
know.
did have a theatrical release, it was very limited, but it was one of the first adaptations of one of the Disney princess movies that had a cast that was mainly people of color.
So who was
So,
it? So Brandy was in
Brandy
it?
was Cinderella.
Okay.
And then Whitney
vague-
Houston was the fairy
I
godmother.
vaguely remember. Now that you're saying that,
Mm-hmm.
I vaguely remember this, yeah.
So it was like a very
That's cool.
groundbreaking thing at the time when it came
Yeah.
out. Obviously, I didn't watch it when it first came out because I was like 2.
You were too, yeah.
But whenever I was younger, like 6, 7 or something, it's one of the first movies that I really remember watching a lot on TV, and so
That's cool.
I'm really into
I
it.
have to revisit that one that I'm sure I've never seen. I might have. There
Well,
might
I
have
think
been.
it's on
They're
Disney
just-
Plus.
There might have
There's
been a
such
time.
good. I think it is on Disney
Yeah, I think
Plus
it's on
because
Disney
it
Plus.
recently has
Has-
like an anniversary or something like
It has
that.
different songs than the original. Is it just new songs, or is
I think that there's some new songs because I feel like Brandy may have written some songs for it if I'm not mistaken, but they're just such good singers and stuff, so it's just really good, and it's way better than the live action Cinderella that Disney came out with.
I still haven't seen it.
It's
If I can get away
great.
with not watching the live action versions, I will. I will.
That's okay.
After watching Pinocchio, I will. I'll avoid at all costs. Next, I just briefly touch on it because we talked about was Aladdin. Another really great musical. All the songs are great. A Whole New World is one of the best. One of the best Disney songs. But just moving on past that, this one was released by like a Disney partner company, but now it's like kind of just official Disney because I don't even think that company exists, and that's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Definitely a musical.
Okay.
100% stop motion, dare I say, masterpiece of its time. Great songs. Does anybody else agree with me that there's some great songs in The Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yes,
agree.
I originally had it on my list, and then I took it back off whenever Josh told me I needed to cut it down.
You had 18 on your list.
Well, don't worry, I got you. I got you here. The movie is short. Like movies, like what is it, like 75 minutes maybe, and it's also not loaded with songs. I mean, like when the songs do come up, they're great. Like the
Yeah.
opening song, "This Is Halloween," very dark. Definitely written in minor key. That one is. We were having a minor
You
and
and
major
minor
key.
key.
Sally's song also a really depressing little nice gem that I love the cover and what's this? A really frantic, definitely Danny Elfman. Like that song's just like Danny Elfman to a T.
Yep.
Like all those songs, and I do not feel fatigued by the end of it.
Yeah.
So, do you have any other Disney? Because that was all of my Disney movies. Do you have any more?
I will do a very brief hit of the rest of the Disney that I had. I had 3 on here that were made for TV, technically, and they fit with my age, of course. But it's High School Musical, Camp Rock, and Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen.
I don't know
And
that
I
one.
bet
That's
neither
one.
of you.
What's that one?
I've
It
heard
was
of
Lindsay
Confession-
Lohan.
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Is that's a
It
musical?
was, yeah.
Oh.
That was
I would
it.
count
That
it because
was
she
like-
breaks out in the song, and there's a lot of like fantastical elements and stuff in it of like her imagining stuff in her head of what kind of life she wants to have,
Oh.
and so they portray it on the screen because she wants to be an actress, and so she portrays a lot of stuff in her mind.
That one was actually released in theaters, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That wasn't a Disney
may have
Channel
been.
movie.
I think
The
it
other two
was.
were Disney Channel.
Okay.
I seem to remember seeing
Yeah.
like posters and stuff.
Yeah, I
For
remember
some
that
reason, I
one.
was thinking that
Now
one
that-
was
now that you
also a
mention it.
Disney Channel one.
No, I think that was.
For some reason,
released
I
in
got the
theaters.
poster in my head. Yeah. I don't even know. Maybe I'm getting it confused confused with Freaky Friday.
On the poster for that one, I think
Also a
she's
musical.
got like the Breakfast at Tiffany's vibes. So she's got
Okay.
like the little black
Oh
dress.
yeah,
and stuff.
Okay, yeah, I know
Okay.
what she's talking about now.
Okay.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed those.
I was thinking
School
for some
Musical.
reason the Lizzie McGuire poster popped in my mind for that movie.
It all bleeds
And I was
together.
just
It was
like,
mid 2000s.
Yeah.
I do really like the Lizzie McGuire movie too. It's
not
not
a-
a
it's
musical.
not a musical.
There is music in it though, because she does perform at the end.
Not a musical.
This is
Not a
what dreams
musical.
are made of.
There is a musical Even Stevens episode though, where it's
That's
just all
true.
musical. It's great.
It is great.
It's about they
like
talk about
Even Stevens.
influenza. That's all I remember.
All right, Caleb, what's the next topic?
Next topic. Moving on from that trash Disney, which probably
Trash.
took up the bulk of our episode.
Awful.
I'm moving on to modern live action.
Okay.
I only have 2 here. I did have 3. I had Rocket Man on here, but
I have Rocket Man on
Okay,
mine.
okay. So I had Rocket Man. You want to go ahead and talk about
Sure,
Rocket Man?
talk about
I
Rocket
had
Man.
it, but I've only seen it the one time, and I remember really liking it a
We
whole
did
lot.
like it.
Yeah.
We did like it. You liked it a little more than I did. I felt it was a little too out there.
No.
But looking back at it now, it's one of the most original biopics there for.
I'll tell you what
time.
happened to you, because you've seen some trash since you've seen. Here's the thing. So right before that, Bohemian Rhapsody came out,
Yeah.
which I did not
Yeah.
like. I thought it was generic and crap. Like I thought that's maybe like the worst actor worst actor winner in the history of the Oscars.
Okay.
Considering that Taron Egerton is so much better in Rocket Man
I agree.
than Rami Malek, it just didn't get the love. And obviously we've seen Elvis since then. Also, not that good. So Rocket Man compared to these movies is a cinematic masterpiece. And you know what? At the time when I watched it in theaters, I was just full of glee by the end of that movie. It was fantastical. It was huge. Obviously, we love the songs.
Yeah.
We gotta love their Elton John songs.
Yeah.
But yeah. Why did you hate it again?
I
You
didn't
hated
hate it.
You said it was trash. You gave it an F. God.
Yeah, I gave it an F when we reviewed it.
I do remember you being a little more down
I was a
on it
little,
than
I was a little more, I was a little
Yeah.
disappointed by it just because I felt it was a little too out there and we didn't have enough story elements to it. But looking back on it, I see for the art that it was, because I went and watched that David Bowie one, and I'm just like, no.
which was just like art house
Yeah,
and like had no
it was
narrative.
literally
it was
like
difficult.
Rocket Man on acid, is what it was.
It made me literally sick.
Yeah.
It was that we were sitting in the front row, so
Yeah.
that was a little rough.
Yeah.
But I need to revisit that one. I've only seen
Yeah.
Rocket Man once. To me, what I remember, it was a very good theater experience because the songs were just popping. Loved it. If I'm gonna go into my first modern live action one that's on my list, I got to go with La La Land. La La Land is one of my favorite movies. It just is. See, whenever we get to the classics here, you're going to see how unknowledgeable I am of just musicals in general, because I'm going to not have many.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, oh, I like La La Land more than all these movies.
That's fine.
It's just a fact.
That's your.
Here's the difference between me and people that are like seasoned musical lovers that just love musicals. A lot of those people didn't like La La Land. But I love La La Land.
Well,
as someone who's not a seasoned musical
The
lover,
people that didn't like La La Land are wrong. So that's.
I
part
just
of
think
it. Nancy didn't
when
like La La Land.
I haven't seen
when
it.
it comes to filmmaking and making like a very impressive and innovative looking movie with characters that you care about, that's gonna like completely rip your heart out at the end. La La Land does that.
Yeah.
A lot of people are complaining like, well, they're not trained singers. So
So what's your point?
they sound fine.
There's a lot of people on my list that are not trained singers.
I
but-
love it when they're not trained singers. You know, don't try to auto-tune them like they did Emma Watson, Emma Watson in Beauty and the Beast. I mean, whenever the auto-tune is like visible to the ears, it's like, oh god, I can't take it.
Yeah.
But in La La Land, that opening number, Another Day in Sun, that takes place on the highway, where I'm sure they had to shut down that highway for weeks to shoot that scene. That's all just one continuous take. Amazing. I love that song. There's not one main character in sight in that first scene, and I still love it.
Yeah.
City of Stars, if I'm not mistaken, won the Oscar for best song. That's the song that Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone sing together. And probably my favorite song in the movie is Audition, The Fools Who Dream. That's the song that Emma Stone sings whenever she's doing the audition towards the end. It's just a visual like masterpiece, and the song is very, very emotional. Love that one.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
Very good.
It was my personal Best Picture winner, but I was totally okay with Moon Knight swooping in to take it at the end there.
Yeah.
Who's got modern
But
musicals
do you
here?
have any modern musicals?
Any modern
I
musicals?
do. I figured
What
I'd
you
let
got?
you go though.
Oh, no,
since
go
you
He did Rocket Man.
Go ahead, I
He
said
did
Rocket
Rocket Man.
Man.
It's your
Okay.
turn.
One that I have on here is Tick Tick Boom, which I know that
Okay,
Caleb
so I
was
have
also
that
a very
too.
big
Yeah,
fan
yeah.
of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
What about it?
I liked it so much that a lot of the songs from it were in my Spotify Wrapped that year. I just enjoy like the story behind it too, about like the fact that he wrote it and then he never even got to see it performed whenever,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And it follows that journey of him writing that play and kind of not even getting to see it come to fruition, and a lot of things in his life that he feels like he's stunted and
Yeah.
things
We're talking
like
about
that.
Rent was the one that he...
Yes.
Yeah. Tick, Tick, Boom, I had no clue what that was going into. I just heard that there was this new Andrew Garfield movie coming out and it's a musical. I was like, oh god, musicals are a chore sometimes. But I immediately watching this one on Netflix in my room, not in theaters, in my room, which is tough. Like my attention span is awful. But that one drew that first song 3090. I was like, wow, like this is, I don't want to call this punk rock, but this is pretty like this is pretty energetic.
Close.
It's
close.
for a musical. It's very rock opera.
Yeah.
Rock opera-ish. I thought it was very uniquely told. How it's just him on a stage in front of people, like telling the story and singing the songs on the piano, but then the movie adaptation actually shows things unfolding while they're reenacting it. And I just thought it was a super unique experience. All the songs are fantastic. Johnny Can't Wait. The song "Why" is a song that he goes whenever he goes to that like amphitheater towards the end, and it's like raining. And he sings that song about his friend who just got diagnosed with HIV. That song it kills me. I'll pull that song up on Spotify. I'm like, oh, my day's ruined.
Yeah.
Like this song, there was a lot of things I was going through at the time also that plays a factor in that. But the last song, "Louder Than Words," closes the movie out perfectly. Once you learn, not spoil anything because the guy's dead, but you learn that the guy died, and they say that right before the song. And it's like, oh my god, like this hits so hard.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite musical. I'm not sure if I like it more as a movie than La La Land, but as a musical, because this is one that's loaded with songs. Like, and I felt no fatigue because I thought that it was every time a new song would come in, it felt very fresh. There's that scene at the cafe where I guess it has all of the classic, a lot of the classic Broadway musical people that like. First time I watched it, I didn't even know some of them, but then I did a little bit of research. Like, oh, I know these actors. This is for a theater kid. That was a dream. That scene was probably like a dream.
Yeah.
So that's probably my favorite, just musical.
Because remember whenever we were watching the diner scene and I was like hitting you because I was so excited.
Yeah, Nancy was excited.
I
I was
was
like,
so
I don't know
excited.
these people.
And then,
was-
well, then they got to the sisters from Hamilton.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and then he
So
was
I knew
like,
them.
oh my
I
god.
knew them.
I knew
Yeah,
them.
I knew them. And there was Bernadette Peters, I think, was in there. And I was like, I know she was in The Jerk, starring Steve Martin. That's the only thing. I'm sure most people don't even like. That's not the thing that they recognize
Yeah.
her from. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
she sang a song. The Jerk's a musical. They sing a song, and we got to include it now.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Just kidding.
fine. The Jerk.
So, do you have any more modern musicals, Josh? Because
I-
I don't. That was my
I
last
have,
one.
I have quite a few actually.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, if you want to, what do you consider modern, and what do you consider classic?
So modern.
I need some dates
let's
here.
let's count modern from 90 on.
90
1990
on. Okay. Oh, I got a few. Okay.
They better be musicals because we got a category for stuff that isn't musicals at the end.
So okay, then I will go with the first one that I know for sure is a musical, and it is
God.
called Across the Universe.
That is undeniably a musical.
A musical.
Almost a musical to a fault.
It's 2 hours and
It's
16
crazy.
minutes of Beatles music. There's 35
There's no
Beatles
narrative.
songs.
The good thing about it is that it is Beatles songs.
It is Beatles songs. You have Bono playing a doctor.
You sing "I Am the Walrus" on that bus.
The movie's not that great, but I love it so much.
I guess there's some pretty unique and clever
Yeah,
versions of Beatles
and-
classics in that.
Yeah, and some of them are really good too. Like there's some
Yeah.
really, really good
I need to rewatch
renditions of that. I have it on Bluray.
I remember not being that
We
hot
will
when I
watch
watched
it.
it first time.
Nancy's never seen it either.
I also, at the time of me watching that around 2008 or 2009, I also wasn't nearly as big of a Beatles fan as
Yeah.
I am now. Like, all things Beatles, I think, is like great.
I was
now,
super
so.
late to the party on that movie because I was one of those people that was like, "This is going to be so terrible," and
And it was
ain't-
only- it was
it's
only
not
sort of-
that great.
It was only sort of terrible.
It's not that great, but I really do enjoy it. It's a
Yeah.
it's a guilty pleasure movie for me.
Have you seen it, Nancy? You haven't seen it?
Oh, it's it's fun.
it's
It's
something.
fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
The cinematography in it's great. The
Oh,
effects are great.
it looks great. It's just narratively, it's like, oh, what am I supposed
am I
to
watching?
What am I holding on to here?
Yep.
What am I supposed to latch on to
Yep.
here? What else you got here?
Let's see her.
Modern.
Caleb, I got Walk Hard on here.
Walk Hard's not a musical.
It's
Well,
close.
We could talk about it. It's not
It's
a musical,
close.
but man, it's got some great songs,
That's
though,
what
right?
I'm saying. It's got some great songs that get stuck in your
It's
head.
one of my favorite soundtracks. Like it's so good that a couple of these songs aren't even funny. They're just great songs.
Yeah.
Like the last song,
Beautiful Ride is not funny at all.
Beautiful Ride is so good that they had to include a montage of ridiculous stuff.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that I didn't feel sorrow and sadness at the end of the movie. There's another song that he performs. It's one of the earlier songs, and it sort of has like that Glenn Campbell big epicness to it. I can't remember the name of it. It's the one that's like a life without you is no life at all. Is that what that song's called?
I don't remember it.
It's great. It's like not funny. It's not a fun.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one funny line in that song. But yeah, It's not a musical. But when it comes to music movies, which you should have saved it for the end.
Sorry.
It's okay. We'll talk about others though. What else that are
Did you
actual?
say 1980 on, right?
I said
Or just
1990.
Okay.
I'm counting 80s as classic.
Okay, well then-
we're 40 years after. So
Okay, so if we're going by that thing of movie musicals or movies with music in it,
no, we're doing
I'm
that
done.
at the end,
I'm
Josh.
done. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Okay.
done. I'm done.
You're done.
I'm done.
Okay, we'll keep those for the end.
Yeah, because the rest of mine are pretty.
I'm jumping to classics next.
Mine are pretty classic.
So,
after this,
Nancy, do you have a classic you want to jump into? Is there a classic?
I still have some modern.
Oh, no! Oh, I forgot.
Ooh, look at me, Miss Modern. over here. Oh, by the
If
way,
you say "Into the Woods," I swear to God.
by the way, All Too Well, the short film. I'm done.
It's not a musical.
It's a musical.
It's not. It's a short film.
I know that Josh has not seen this. Caleb, have you seen The Greatest Showman?
I haven't actually.
Well,
Too
it
many
is-
people talked about it. I got annoyed by it.
Me too.
Just kidding. I haven't seen it. I didn't see it.
Well, it is very good, and
Is it?
I've heard it's very good.
I'm a big fan of Zac Efron and Zendaya,
God, Zach.
and they have some really good songs in it.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman is really good. It's got a lot of really good songs in it that I know kind of like bled over to just like people generally listening to music to outside of the movie and stuff like
That
that.
soundtrack was big.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
very
Yeah, it
popular
was.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
Remember, it came out the same year as La La Land, and people were like, "This is way better than La La Land." So then I just discredited it after that, and I was never gonna watch it. No, I just haven't seen it. I need to see it eventually, sometime in the next 30 years.
Well, now we're gonna have to watch it.
I tell you what, we're gonna have
Musicals,
ourselves-
musicals,
have a musical day.
musicals is a tough sell for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's
we'll
got to be
watch Across the
something.
Universe, The Greatest Showman.
Walk
Walk
hard
Hard.
again.
Listen, Walk Hard's a movie that you never get tired of. Okay.
It's great. I like to revisit it every couple years.
Yeah.
What other modern? Do you got any other moderns?
We kind of already talked about In the Heights a little bit. I had
Little
it
bit,
on
yeah.
here just because I'm a big fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda. So,
It was good.
but it
He was
really
also in
good.
another musical called Mary Poppins Returns as well.
We don't have to talk about that one though, do we?
No.
Talk
I'm just
about
saying.
talk
I'm
about
saying.
Fatigue Central. My gosh, that one wore me out,
Yeah.
man. It wore. I was like, I can't do this anymore, guys. Can't do it, guys. I can't keep. Sorry, Emma. I love you, Emily, but I can't do this.
Yeah.
It was good for what it was, but I'm just it's too much, and I don't remember a dang song from that movie, which is a bad sign of a musical. You know, hate to say it. Now I know all things about musicals, and
After you've studied them for 15 minutes.
even
before
though
you
I
shut
only
up.
know a combined total of 40 musicals ever.
I feel like it almost tried to play too much into being almost way too similar to the original Mary Poppins.
I don't
And the
remember
Mary
the
Poppins was just good as it was. And like they tried to do literally like the scene with animated dancing animals and like all the stuff with the kids
The
and
Chimney
things like
Sweep
that. Like they
song.
tried to do the exact same thing
So what we're
over
saying is that it
again.
was not as good as Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. Has anybody seen that?
No.
No.
Oh, Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. It's very similar to like a Mary Poppins. There's a mix that has like some animation. And,
okay.
who's the murder we wrote?
Murder, She Wrote?
Murder She Wrote
Oh
actress.
gosh.
Wow, she was in Beauty and
Wow.
the Beast. She plays
Angela
Mrs.
Lansbury.
Thank
Angela
you.
Lansbury. So she has a
Leave it to
cameo.
her.
So she has a cameo in the last Mary Poppins too, but she's the main character in Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. That was a childhood staple. I have no clue if it was a musical. Don't know. Might have been a musical. I don't know. What do you have any other moderns?
I'm gonna count Hairspray as a modern because again the version that has I just like Zac Efron
Oh, the
singing.
the newer one, yeah.
I like Zac Efron singing. That's what I've learned from today, and
I mean,
That's
that
it.
one has
That's
that one
fine.
has good reviews.
it
I've just
is
never
really
seen
good.
it. I've just never seen it.
Amanda Bynes is in
We
it
also
too.
have that one on DVD, so we'll add that one to the list.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Wow.
I'll watch it. Yeah.
Amanda Bynes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Amanda Bynes. Wow.
John Travolta.
Yep.
John Travolta, yes. I've only seen the original, but vaguely remember it. I've seen it. There was a local production of it. I've always liked that story, though, so I'm sure it would be an easy sell for me.
Yeah.
Just sitting and watching. I was like, I know the story. Huh, familiar. I love this.
He's not gonna watch it.
Might.
Not gonna watch it.
That's okay.
No, I will. I'll watch it. I just haven't.
Well, then we're adding it to the list then.
Okay. Do we have any more moderns, or are we,
I don't think I have any more modern.
or are we
moderns.
sliding
What
into
about
the classics?
I think I'm good.
you?
The
Think you're
classics. I'm gonna be the first one.
good? Uh-oh.
I'm gonna pull out the ultimate classic.
Grease.
And you know, this is the ultimate classic, and I'm still not that passionate about it because I think I saw it just so much as a kid that now if I watch it now, I'm like, Caleb, like, come on now, we get it. Everybody's seen this movie 100 times. Let's get over it, and that's The Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like one of my favorite movies, even though it's wildly considered one of the greatest movies of all time. But I will say that Somewhere Over the Rainbow is one of the greatest songs ever written. Doesn't matter who you ask. It's one of the greatest songs ever written. I guess there's other songs in the movie. I don't remember. What are some other songs in that movie? Is there songs in the movie?
Yeah.
Is Wizard of Oz a musical?
Yeah.
See, I don't remember the songs.
They
Is there a
have
song about the
they
Wicked
have-
Witch or
They have
something?
the Munchkins.
Is that
They
a thing?
have the Lion song, the Tin Man song, the Scarecrow song.
Yeah, but none of these songs are
If I
somewhere.
only had a heart, if I only had a brain.
There you go. These are songs. None of these songs are Somewhere Over the Rainbow,
Oh
though.
my god.
Which is just
Why do I do a podcast?
it's a
with
perfect. That is a perfectly composed song. It just is.
Sure.
It just is. Okay, that's why I'm mentioning it because I clearly don't have much passion for Wizard of Oz
you? Then why did you put it on your list?
because I had to talk about Somewhere Over the Rainbow
Oh
because it's
my
that
God.
good.
Jesus God.
We can move on to another classic. I just haven't seen Wizard of Oz in so long. It has to be 20 plus years
That's
since I've
fine.
seen that movie.
That's fine.
But I've heard that song a billion times.
Nancy, what classic do you have?
The Sound of Music.
Are the Hills alive?
Yes.
I've never seen The Sound of Music.
It was very good. I watched it a lot as a kid. I just really like Julie Andrews too.
That's fine. Julie
just
Andrews
a
is
big
Julie
great.
Andrews, also Mary Poppins.
Mhm.
She was killing it in
Yeah.
the Disney
That's true.
Yeah.
Disney
That's very true.
musicals at the time.
That's what we've learned today. I like Julie Andrews and I like
Zac
Zac
Efron.
Efron.
Yep. And
I like Snickers.
and
all the-
Snickers. Bringing it back around. My first classic is the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
yeah.
I didn't actually watch that movie until about 2 years ago. 2 years ago, roughly.
I
Right?
thought that was about a year ago.
Okay, about a year ago then. 2 years ago. Really liked it. It was the first time I ever watched it. I had saw Meatloaf stuff before because
Yeah.
I was a Meatloaf fan. Still am a Meatloaf fan. But I never actually sat down and watched the movie. But it's really good. It's got some really catchy songs in it too. So
I've never seen the movie. I've just seen the live production, and I mean, I guess if the movie's similar to that, it has the same songs in it, could be fun.
yeah, it's good. It's good.
The audience is something.
Tim Curry
Watch it with an
is
audience.
awesome. No one can play Frankenfurter like Tim Curry.
Tim Curry is an actor, and he's been in a lot of things.
He has been in a lot of musicals too.
I get. Is that I'm trying to think of the number of movies that Tim Curry's in where he looks like a normal person.
Maybe Home Alone 2.
Home Alone 2. He was in The Muppets Treasure Island, but
Yeah,
he
but he
plays
didn't look like a
he plays Long John Silver.
Long John Silver. Let's see what else.
He looks kind of normal in Clue. Looks normal
yeah,
in Clue.
yeah.
But I assume he's great as that lead character
Oh, yeah, he's fantastic.
in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Susan Sarandon, Barry Bostwick.
Those are names. They were in the movie.
Jesus,
I know those actors.
I don't think you do.
I know who Susan Sarandon is. I know Barry Bostwick through
Tron?
Space Ghost Cartoon Planet.
Oh my God, Jesus.
They talked about Barry Boswick in one
yes,
episode.
they do.
It's just one
I know
episode.
what you're talking
It was
about.
great. It was the 90s. It was a thing in the 90s.
It was the 90s.
So
what about you? What back to you?
back to me.
Back to you.
Back to me. I got another one of my favorite musicals. But I was like drawing a blank on songs on this one. I guess I could have looked it up, but I didn't. Because I was hoping maybe other people have seen it and they can they can tell me what those songs were. And that's Little Shop of Horrors. I love this movie.
Nope.
For some, has anybody seen Little Shop of Horrors?
No.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Are you kidding? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You gotta change that. You gotta change because this is
I've wanted to
Little
because
Shop
I've
of
always
Horrors.
heard good things.
It's
about
a horror
too.
comedy and very funny. Steve Martin plays this like maniacal like dentist.
Yeah.
And
It's got Rick Moranis
Bill
in it,
Murray
right?
has one scene, and Bill Murray like is like a masochist, and he's like, I have to go to the dentist. It's like this is great for me. I have to. It's like drill me. I know I don't want any Novocaine. So Steve Martin sings a song. He has jet black hair in that movie. It's the only movie where he doesn't have white hair. Rick Moranis is great. Some great. Now, some things are coming back to me now. There's a song called Downtown. It's like Downtown. Now I don't know the other words to it after that.
Make me sing more.
So obviously you have the Venus flytrap from like another world. You need to see that. I'm
telling you, man, we got to make us a list here. I
can only watch so many musicals. One musical per year for me.
Well, then we can We'll bump it up to 2.
Well, Star Wars is great. I wish they would have stuck with the original ending that they had, but they decided to go with the more crowd pleasing ending.
Of course.
For the but yeah, that is a great one. And if my memory serves me well, the songs are also great. I'm just drawing a huge blank.
What about you? What else you got?
Classics.
I had Grease on my list.
That's on mine too. That was my last one.
Grease is fine.
John Travolta.
They die at the end.
Let's talk about it. That's
They're dead. It's all a dream.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It's not that deep. It's
Yes.
Grease. Grease is the word.
They're all dead at the end of the show.
I have something to say about Grease.
Okay.
I loved this movie as a kid.
It's very racist.
Is it?
I don't know.
Because I don't remember. Okay, it very well maybe. It was made in the late 70s, right? But Grease, I loved the movie as a kid. Loved it. I loved the songs. I was like, this movie makes me feel so good. But as an adult, my favorite song in the movie is not a part of the musical. It's that opening number, Grease. That is I love it. I'll put that song on shuffle. That is just an amazing. That Frankie Valli song.
Yeah.
I believe the Bee Gees might have wrote it though. I think the Bee Gees wrote it and Frankie Valli sang it in the movie. Love that one.
Yeah.
It's just, it feels super serious to me when I hear that song. I just feel, I'm like, this movie's going to be serious. And then Grease happens. But
then Grease happens and they're all dead and it's a...
What's your favorite thing about Grease, Nancy?
I really, for some reason, liked that Summer Lovin' song.
It's a great...
Whenever they go back and forth between the two groups of the boys talking to each other and the girls.
The feelings in my heart, 8-year-old Caleb watching that movie, like, oh, this is great. It's like, I'm going to fall in love one day. It never happened. But yeah, that is great. I do love it. I hate that it's been parodied so much. It sort of like weakens it. I'm like, come on, guys, really?
It does.
And they're never that funny. It's like you're hurting this thing that was obviously a classic. A classic opening, not quite the opening number because the opening number was Grease is the word. But the first scene of the movie, it's great. Loved it. There's some other songs in the movie. I like that last song, that we come together like where we died. Yeah. Right? Because we died, right?
They died.
According to Josh. There's other songs sprinkled in there. Beauty School Dropout.
Yeah, that's a good song.
What else is there?
Oh God.
Other song.
Now I'm drawing.
Do you like Grease?
Yeah. I like Grease. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I
just can't remember any of the songs. I'm drawing.
I haven't watched them in a while. Is John Goodman's not in this, right?
Not that I know of.
What movie is it that John Goodman is in? Is that Revenge of the Nerds that he shows up in?
I was going to say, could he possibly be in Grease 2? Because there was a Grease 2.
Is this like a Berenstein Bears thing going on right here?
I don't know.
Like John Goodman was, but he wasn't. I was thinking he was the gym teacher, but he's not. It's another guy that's the gym teacher.
Are you thinking of Oh Brother Where Art Thou when he shows up?
No, Josh. Okay. I'm not thinking of Oh Brother Where Art Thou. He's very clearly in Oh Brother Where Are you thinking of Roseanne that he's in?
Oh Brother Where Art Thou is technically a musical too, so...
It's not, Josh. It is not a musical. It is not. I had to think about that for a second. It's not. They sing some songs.
There's a lot of music in
I'll tell you what, it's close though.
It is close. There's a lot of music in that movie, dude.
I think whenever they do break out in song, it's logical. In a Coen Brothers kind of way.
I mean, they technically break out into song like 5 times in that movie.
They don't break out. It's like they sing.
They
sing "Man of Constant Sorrow" on stage in front of people, and then they sing songs inside of a recording studio.
Well, there's more than that.
It's kind of like Walk Hard.
I know, but I'm just saying there's more than that.
They sing the song at the river.
They sing the song at the river,
which makes sense though.
The one guy sings "Old Death."
What is that? What happened?
when they're getting ready to when
that
they're
makes-
burning the crosses and
That
stuff.
makes sense too.
Right, but I'm just saying, there's like 5 separate
In a
songs.
Coen Brothers way, it is a musical in
Yep.
their way. But compared to other movies, it's
Oh, Brother
not.
Where Art Thou is now considered a musical.
It's funny because I also have another Coen Brothers movie on here too that that could also be considered musical. But we'll get to that.
Okay.
What other classics do we have?
Hold
Classics.
on. Pull up my.
'Cause I don't have any more.
I
just don't have-
I have A Hard Day's Night on here.
Okay.
By the Beatles.
I've never watched it.
It's again drawing that fine line of whether or not it's a musical or not. There's a lot of musical numbers.
Yeah.
And the musical numbers play into the sequencing of the story. So I guess it would count as a musical.
Okay.
Maybe.
Sure.
So yeah, Hard Day's Night by the Beatles. Nothing really needs to be said about it. It's just the Beatles, and
It's the Beatles.
it's a great album. And
Great record.
also have Pink Floyd The Wall on here as well, since
Okay.
we were talking about it last week.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so there's that one too.
That's something. Yeah.
That's something. And
You-
Purple Rain.
Got any more classics, Nancy?
Footloose.
Oh yeah,
Is
forgot about
Is
Footloose.
Footloose a musical?
I mean, I guess technically it could
I've
be.
never watched Footloose. Is that the Kevin Bacon movie?
That's the Kevin Bacon movie. Yes, yeah.
I've never watched
I guess that could be considered a.
Do they break out in the
Musical?
song?
Yes.
Yes, there's
Okay.
a lot of dance numbers. And
So
stuff
that
in it,
okay, so it's a musical. Then.
So Dirty Dancing is also considered a musical now.
It's not.
We've just went off the rails.
Dirty
folks.
Dancing
we
is-
have went off the
Dirty
rails.
Dancing is not a musical.
I'm going to say it's a musical.
Any more classics?
I've had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you.
Jesus.
Dum, dum,
Do we have any other classics?
I don't. Do you have any?
I'm
I said
done.
Purple Rain, so that's
Well, I washed my hands with it. I only had three.
well. Purple Rain is mine.
So let's move on to the end. This last segment here, and that is not really a musical, but
but
dot.
a lot of musical numbers.
I'll start because I was talking about the Coen Brothers,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually like this. Actually, like this movie quite a bit more than Oh Brother. Where This is one of my favorite Coen Brothers movies. That's Inside Llewyn Davis.
Oh yeah.
In a
Real good movie.
Coen Brothers way, I guess it could be considered a musical,
Mm-hmm.
even though whenever they do perform the songs, it makes sense in the real world, logically speaking. Oscar Isaac singing with his own voice,
it.
playing guitar with his own hands.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any. There might be like one original song in this movie, and that's the song that Justin Timberlake, Adam Driver, and Oscar Isaac sing together. It's like that. Please, Mr. Kennedy.
Oh yeah.
Or Adam Driver. I think that's original, but the other songs are just songs that were written like smaller folk songs from the 60s that and that's just a great song with great music. Every time that Oscar Isaac performs, it's incredible. It's just a really good movie that's very true about being a musician and how you should just give up.
But we don't.
A very depressing little movie, but also darkly comedic. John Goodman also shows up in that.
Yep. John Goodman and the
As a
Coen
saxophone
Brothers
player or a trumpet player, but we never see him play. Never see him play, not once. So
Yep.
that is my first one for not really musicals, but who's next?
Do you have any not really musicals, but
I didn't know if this would be considered a musical or not, but A Star Is Born.
yeah,
We can count that. There's a lot of songs.
There's a lot of songs.
Because there's a
in
lot
it.
of songs,
lot of original
but I
songs,
didn't
Which
know
version?
The new one,
Because
right?
there
The
are
new
like
one.
19
The only-
versions.
the,
Let's
the,
do
new,
the-
the new one with Lady
Yeah, let's do
Gaga.
the only one that I've seen.
Yeah,
Bradley
Bradley
Cooper.
Cooper. By the way, spoiler alert. I'm not gonna spoil that.
Don't
movie,
spoil
'cause
it.
I'm not gonna spoil it. But Lady Gaga's song at the end is really freaking good.
I don't love it. You know what I love?
liked it.
You know what I
Like it a
love
lot.
in that movie? Because I thought it was one of the greatest scenes ever. Is whenever they sing "Shallow" that first time on
Yeah.
stage is incredible. That feels so real.
Yeah.
And then the whole movie just goes downhill. I'm
I
joking.
disagree.
I disagree too. I'm just joking. The movie is really good. I've only seen it the one time,
Mm-hmm.
but I will never be able to get back that moment of watching that scene where they perform that song on stage. It just felt so authentic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It probably was. Like it probably like, okay, we're gonna film this in front of people, and we want this to feel as real as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a great song, great performance. Moving on, these next two are directed by the same guy, director John Carney, who primarily does music-based films, and the movies are Begin Again and Sing Street. Do you remember Begin Again?
I do.
The one with Keira Knightley and Mark Ruffalo's and they want to record that album. They want to record it in different parts of New York outside, and I really love that
a really
one.
good movie.
I
I want to watch that again.
I
actually.
might like that one more than Sing Street, but I think Sing Street has this certain coming of age element to it that's just undeniable. And
Yeah.
the songs are just
And the songs are
so
fan freaking tastic.
so good. Like no lie. The scene where it's probably the most popular song in the movie, but "Drive It Like You Stole It,"
Yeah.
which did not get nominated for an Oscar, which is honestly is crazy. Like I know
I agree.
that was the same year as La La Land, but man, that's like it should have been nominated. But like no lie, the "Drive It Like You Stole It" scene where they're imagining, well, they're performing the song or practicing it
Yeah.
before the dance, and them imagining what it's going to be like. That's one of my favorite scenes in movie history. That scene just gives me chills.
Yeah.
Like it's just so because everybody's been in that position whenever you play music. Whenever either when you're young or you're old, you're imagining, and I love that scene. Obviously, these aren't musicals because they're about people creating music and they don't just spontaneously bust out in the song. But there are a lot of songs in both of these movies and soundtracks that are definitely worth checking out. What else do you have to say about Sing Street, Josh? I know you probably like it even more than I do.
Oh, I think Sing Street is one of the best coming of age movies ever. It might be. I mean, it's depending on when you see it in your life, you might honestly say it is the best. Depending on even what's going on in your life. But like you said, it's that movie resonates because of us, especially in us playing music over the years and things.
Yeah.
We've been in that position where we write music and we record and we practice, and so it holds a special place. But I won't argue with either one of those movies. They're
I
very,
love
very
them both.
good.
Both
They're so good.
filled to the brim with incredible songwriting and great performances by. I mean, Keira Knightley, I don't think of her as a singer, but I thought she sounded great in that movie. She sounds so good that the song that was the big song in the movie Lost Stars, I prefer her version much more than Adam Levine's version. Right? Like, I do not like him.
I don't think his is at the end, right?
So Adam Levine's in the movie. He plays kind of like a jerk ex-boyfriend, and he performs the song at the end. And his version he just Adam Levine's it up. He does like a falsetto, and I'm like, no, dude, this song is supposed to be sad. It's supposed to kind of sound like an Oasis song, and Keira Knightley just captured that perfectly.
Yeah.
It's like stay in your lane, Adam. This is Keira Knightley. Actually, that song was nominated for an Oscar and it lost, but they had Adam Levine perform it at the Oscars. Like, boo, get out of here, Adam. We hate you. We liked your first album kind of, but everything after that we hated.
What'd you think about Sing Street? I know you just recently just watched it with me. What'd you think about it?
I really enjoyed it whenever we watched it. I like the scene that Caleb was talking about, and I like the one too whenever they're filming that first music video out in the street.
The riddle of the model.
It's just so ridiculous.
She's
and I loved it so much.
I love that song. I mean, those songs are great.
I
love all. My favorite song in the movie, even though I like the "Stole It Like You Seen," the "Drive It Like You Stole It" scene more. My favorite song is that. What's that one song? The Up.
Yeah, Up's
Go,
the best song
go
in the film.
up, going up.
Yeah, it's the best song in the film.
I love that song.
Yeah, I agree.
That song is so good.
I agree.
Yeah,
It's so good.
I'll pull that one up on Spotify every once in a while.
Yep.
Like, this is the song right
Yep.
here. Yeah. Do we have any other not really musicals, but because that's all I had.
I'm done.
That's all.
I'm done.
We have covered everything that ever needed to be known about musicals or music movies.
In literally,
there's
45
nothing else to
in
cover.
45 minutes.
We are masters of the musical.
Who listens to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang or watches Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Oh,
Nobody.
God, not me.
Not me.
No, I hate that movie.
Do you really?
God, I had to watch it so much as a kid. I hate that movie. Don't even.
Wow.
I'm gonna puke now that you're mentioning that.
Good
no,
God,
I
man.
don't like that movie.
Really?
I hate it.
Wow.
I think it sucks. I'm being
I
super.
think you're being a hater about
maybe
it.
I'm over exaggerating.
I think you're being a hater.
All right. Nancy's gonna pull out.
Nancy's gonna pick
she's
out
gonna
the
pull out our
topic.
topic.
Oh God,
for,
she's
pulling out a
pulled-
topic for next
she's
week.
pulled something and she's
Here we go.
snickering.
Here we go. What's the topic?
Oh,
It,
God.
it totally fits with what we've done here today
Oh,
because
no.
of Boy Genius.
Oh no.
And it is your dream supergroup.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't have any. Moving on.
So our dream supergroup next week. That should be pretty fun.
Sure.
How are we limiting anything?
Can make it happen. What do you mean?
How many members?
I will say that I think they need to be alive.
Alive.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. I tell you what. We'll do one alive, one dead.
No, just
Yes.
alive.
Yes. Yes.
I was gonna say, I
Sure,
think you need
sure.
to at least limit it to a number that would be reasonable to
Four-
have in a band
four or
together.
five.
So like 4 or 5.
Five.
Maybe 4.
We'll say 5.
One.
One.
Just one.
Who's the one?
Jeff Rosenstock. Nobody else.
Paul Simon.
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney playing technically he plays everything, so he could technically be a supergroup. Anyway,
Back
Caleb,
to Snickers.
As I snicker, where can people find us?
They can find us on Facebook by typing in Chat From a Hat. We're also on Instagram, Twitter. You can email us at chatfromahatcast@gmail.com. And obviously you can stream us anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Did I do a good job?
You did a fantastic job. I'm so proud
You
of
want
you.
to know why? Because I had a Snickers before we came on.
Oh, so you were hungry. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't wait, as the commercials would say.
Oh, my God. Well, Nancy, do you have any departing words for the listeners at home or work or wherever they're listening?
Thank you. That's all I got.
Wow.
Great.
Fantastic. Well,
Great.
folks, thank you for listening. We will talk to you next week about our dream supergroups. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.